Which high school friend took a path you didn't expect? Girl in my high school was a terrible human being, selfish and totally self-absorbed. I couldn't stand her. One of the shallowest, nastiest people I knew. 20 years later, she sacrifices her life trying to help save 3 children, unknown to her, from drowning in a rip current at a local beach. Did the kids make it? Yes, she was the only victim. Colossus. 4 or 5 moments. That's all it takes. Deadpool 2. Colossus. Be a hero. Everyone thinks it's a full-time job. Wake up a hero. Brush your teeth a hero. Go to work a hero. Not true. Over a lifetime, there are only 4 or 5 moments that really matter. Moments when you're offered a choice to make a sacrifice, conquer a flaw, save a friend, spare an enemy. In these moments, everything else falls away. My best friend since I was 5 years old, smartest person I ever knew. She went off to college and got into heroin. She is now serving a life sentence for first-degree murder. She was the mastermind and the getaway driver of a burglary gone wrong. Her accomplices broke into a guy's home they were acquainted with, tied him up, and beat the shit out of him. He died of a heart attack sometime during the ransacking of his home or directly thereafter. This is heartbreaking. I know we all make our own choices and all, but fuck if it isn't terrible to see how drug addiction can change an otherwise good person. Low achiever, used to goof off in class all the time. Bit of a class clown. Used to tell everyone that her goal was to be a trophy wife so she could watch TV all day. Has shown her designs at Paris Fashion Week and has dressed several celebrities. You could have knocked me over with a feather when I was flicking through a copy of Vogue Australia on my lunch break, and there was a 4-page article on her in there. I was so happy. She always had a heart of gold, and I feel like her teen self was a reflection of what her family thought for her. She deserved to be much more than someone's wife. The quiet, kinda nerdy guy in the back of my AP Calculus class is now the CEO of Playboy Thailand. I kinda wonder what he was doing in the back of your AP Calc class to become the CEO of Playboy Thailand. You don't wonder. You know, it's obvious he was doing calculus. I had a friend in high school who was high achieving academically. He was in the top classes, very nervous, and well behaved in the classroom. Generally he was mostly thought of as quiet, and the guy very few people paid any attention to. He's serving 8 years in prison for possession of drugs and child pornography. Holy shit, watch your mouth, there are children. Average guy at school. Dead through alcoholism by his mid-20s. It was apparently asphyxiation that got him. The ODs and suicides are always more surprising than the success stories. It really is crazy how people who seemed so normal can privately go so very far off the rails. I had a crush on a girl that was a real sweet, quiet girl. Not long ago saw her picture on the news for boosting cars. She was not so cute anymore. Sorry, but what does boosting cars mean? Stealing them? A little documentary called Gone in 60 Seconds will give you that answer. When I was 10 I sat next to the sweetest boy in our class. All the other boys I had sat next to in junior school were mild ass hats. I remember I lent him my Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory VHS, and he lent me the Muppets Take Manhattan. We went to different high schools when we were 12. I heard that at 16 he had been arrested for armed robbery. I still can't believe it. What the hell happened to that kind and gentle boy between 12 and 16? Life. Sweet kids can get caught up and forced to do shit by the wrong crowd quite easily. Cheerleader who took a heck of a turn. She was an impressive drinker in high school. She kept it up through college. Got a job, didn't love it. She joined AA. Met a guy. Older, had nice finances. Estranged from his ex-wife, kids, no other family. They got married. A few months later, they are both drinking again. Within 2 years, he's dead. He left her everything. She is devastated. She goes back to AA. Met another guy. Apparently older men who are estranged from their families are super easy to find in AA. You got it. They're drinking. Next thing you know, he's dead. Left her everything. Now she's gone back to AA again. She has met the most wonderful man. It's a shame his kids won't speak to him and won't come to the wedding. It's next month. A friend of mine is a talented artist with a deep passion for video game design. He worked on projects for indie devs all through high school, and I thought it was certain he would quickly become an artist for some dev studio soon after. He now works as a furniture salesman. I wanted to work on games since high school, and tons of folks were convinced I'd be working in gaming. After hearing the horror stories about the game industry, lack of job security and constant layoffs, I'm happy as a stock person. Had a friend that was the weirdest guy I'd met. He'd often yell random stuff for no reason, do every kind of accent, and was just generally awkward around people. Saw him a few years after, and he was dressed to the nines, very clean cut, and socially well adjusted. Complete 180 from high school. Made me rethink all my life's choices up until that point, since I was not doing so hot in life. There was this guy who bullied me and destroyed my self-esteem on a regular basis. He became a really successful vegan chef, has his own restaurant, cookbooks, has been on talk shows to promote his stuff. Fuck him, bro. Thanks, dude. No, he's saying you should track him down and fuck him. A lot of them. I don't know if there was something in the water in our town. A lovely girl in my class had severe anorexia, to the extent she had to repeat the year. She was strikingly pretty, with the face of an angel. Always wondered if she felt self-conscious, and grew obsessed about her looks because it was what people valued. Nobody made the same fuss about her good grades or niceness. She is now morbidly obese, couch surfing, and pretty much always wears the same big brown coat and tracksuit pants. Was shocked to see her go from one extreme to the other. Still really nice. Hope it works out for her. Another high achiever in our class is now a traveling musician and nudist. She dropped out of engineering and just travels from festival to festival as a concert goer, dressed as a barefoot rainbow fairy. Self-funds by offering tarot readings, spells, palmistry. Lived by the creek for a while. Has a Pomeranian. She dropped out of engineering and just travels from festival to festival as a concert goer, dressed as a barefoot rainbow fairy. Self-funds by offering tarot readings, spells, palmistry. Lived by the creek for a while. Has a Pomeranian. Pretty sure she just figured out the cheat code to life, and is now living the dream while the rest of us are still grinding away like chumps. The happy surprise? One of the girls I went to school with kind of came from the wrong side of the tracks. Nice kid, but her family was known to be pretty trashy, and she dropped out of community college to be a stripper. A few years later, she got her shit together, and now she's a corporate lawyer. The not so happy surprise? Dude was brilliant. He came from a wealthy family, he was good at sports, he was a hilarious person to be around. Even at the time, it was no secret that he had his demons, but he was just so damn smart that it seemed like, if he could grow out of his adolescent angst, everything would be fine. Again, wealthy family. Bright. Good looking. Bro didn't exactly have to hit a home run to do okay in life. I believe he's working part-time at the grocery store now, but he may have gotten fired again. Or he might be back on disability. Or maybe he's working at Pizza Hut. It's always hard to keep it straight, because he doesn't tend to hold down any particular job for long. Honestly, if he weren't such a nice person, there might be a hint of schadenfreude there, but as it is, it's just tragic. He really was brilliant, and he really was a wonderful human being, but there weren't enough advantages in the world to save him from himself. There were two that really stand out. One of them was a girl who got in a fair amount of trouble. She skipped school, had a bad attitude, and was more interested in hanging out with friends than learning. She ended up becoming a lawyer, and eventually became the assistant DA of a city with about 3 million people. The other was a nice guy, got along with most everyone. I even considered him a friend, and hung out with him on occasion. He came from a great family, and while he didn't get the best grades, he was good at things like fixing cars, so I assumed he would end up going into that field. Instead, he started a career in drinking. By the time he was 30, he had been in jail several times, in rehab a couple of times, had been arrested numerous times, had 2 restraining orders on him from former girlfriends, and had burned so many bridges with his family they had given up on him. Now in his mid-40s, He still lives in that same town. He looks like he is in his 60s, is on disability, and likely doesn't have much of a future as he continues to drink himself away.